Hey guys, this is Ranchin here, bringing us a commentary. This is going to be the fifth set between Free and HiyA in the Hana Deatoo MSL 2010 spring season quarterfinals, all that. It's going to be fighting Spirit at the upper right-hand corner in white. We're going to have the Protoss player Free at the bottom right corner. Turn player HiyA wearing purple. And after the significant amount of mental damage that I sustained in the fourth set, I decided to bring in a dual commentator with me today. So DejaVu is joining me once again. Kind of fitting that he commentated the first set, and I was commentating the fifth one as well. I'm going to do some syncage here, 29, 30, 31, just to make my life a little bit easier. But yeah, just living up to the fourth set is going to be insane. We had a 3-port cloak wraith start by HiyA, then followed up with nukes. Then we had a Dark Archon dancing around. We had a literal battle of Thermopylae at the 12 o'clock position where just a huge amount of Zealots and Dragoons tried to get in through a small gap with nothing to defend but 2 tanks, and eventually he was forced to send in a recall, and it was absolutely insane all the way through, but Free ended up edging out the victory. So HiyA, after a 2-0 start, is now Free has managed to equalize it 2-2. Starting off with the gateway here at the bottom. Both players kind of act as partial block-ups. So this is a 4-player map, so just as the first set was, definitely expecting an age-long macro game, and honestly, couldn't have it any other way, and definitely have DejaVu alongside me, the guy to have alongside me for a PvT macro fest.
Yeah, this should be a whole lot of fun. It's on Fighting Spirit. Wasn't the first game on Fighting Spirit too? I think it was. So yeah, I guess we're doing a little bookend action here. We're just jumping in for the first and fifth sets. But yeah, if you believe in momentum, after that last game when Free was able to fend off nukes and rates, just the craziest build from HiyA, you got to think that Free has got to be riding high. You know, he's defeated a build that HiyA had completely planned out. He'd planned out this victory, even taking that kind of sneaky expansion at the 12 o'clock. Was definitely completely planned out, and for Free to be able to defeat that, he's got to be just in riding that momentum. And you see him like putting forward a forward Zealot gateway there. I wonder if he's going to maybe try and push a Zealot through. We see him throwing down a pylon as well to block that containing of HiyA. So HiyA's not going to get that nice wall in, so we could see a Zealot try and get in here and just be a little bit harassive. So Free's going to try and put HiyA kind of on the back foot, kind of just push him and give him something to think about after that last game, because I don't think Free wants to go through and let HiyA just have a free run like last game, because that was very, very stressful, I'm sure, for Free. But this should be a whole lot of fun. I don't think that this is going to end up being too significant. Free actually allowed that pylon to warp in. I'm kind of surprised about that. I thought he would cancel it, but he is going to try and work this Zealot, and don't think he's going to have too much success here, though. There's enough SCVs there to block and a couple Marines as well, so I think this is going to be a little bit of annoyance, but Free should be able to micro this, or HiyA should be able to micro this and defend pretty well, or maybe not, losing one Marine already. And this Zealot's just going to get a nice little scout on here, see if there's any sort of like quick tech going on, if he can keep it alive long enough to see if, you know, maybe there's another starport or an early factory, something like that. That's about all the use that Zealot's going to get anymore, unless he can keep it alive long enough to recharge its shield. That's one of the fun things about Protoss units, but doesn't look like it. I think that Zealot's going to die. Yeah, it goes down. So the scouting is just about over here, but getting a nice little delay there for Free gives him some advantages, and sending a second Zealot, that Zealot's not going to do anything, but just trying to be harassive here just to start.
Yeah, only going to just try to put on the pressure. He definitely doesn't want, because the last game he was the one being pressured all the time, and until near the end of the game with those arbors out there. HiyA just did not have a proper response to that, despite having just did not have any defensive perimeter, did not have proper defenses set up. So unfortunately, he got completely caught, despite a this is a kind of bad first recall by Free in the last set. He still followed up with mass recalls all over the place, then managed to push in with a ground army, utilize stasis very well. So just managed to deny bases in that manner. And Free, I gotta say, in the last 2 sets especially, has played very well. In the third set, got out those carriers at a very good time, actually utilized them instead of using them as a kind of a mass main force. He had a huge ground army alongside, kind of used those carriers just to harass, deny bases, make sure that no forces can freely run around the middle, and even managed to snipe a nexus with them. Command center with him. So really played smartly, and I gotta agree with the whole momentum thing. I gotta agree that he's got to be riding one. And HiyA, meanwhile, going to build up a command center inside of his own base, and actually looking like he wants to, instead of floating it into the natural expansion, actually seems like he might want to float it towards this 6. That's kind of interesting. Nexus on the opposite side up there for free, and the robotics is still up there. This is probably just going to be for these observers, but actually Nexus a little bit early for him, just because I think he's feeling safe, has those Dragoons out there on the bridge alongside Zell. He knows he can put on pressure. He knows if tanks or any sort of push comes out there for HiyA, he's going to be there in time. He's going to have an opportunity to snipe some tanks as they come out, so I think he's definitely feeling safe and confident in himself. Wondering if he's going to try to utilize that fast expansion tactics that he's been using, especially in the third set, where he just tried to expand all over the place. Also in the fourth set, really just expanding very quickly, and I think that really helped him out, keeping a base or two above HiyA at all times and trying to deny bases. If he manages to keep HiyA in this little corner of his with 3 bases tops while he takes the entire northern side, I think he's going to be in pretty good position this entire game.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think that's what Free is planning to do, is just try and make this a macro fest. And I really think that Free has an opportunity here. As soon as he scouts out that it's a siege expand, I think he could probably tell from his scouting that this was probably a siege expand, but once he confirms it just by, maybe walking forward just a few steps and seeing that siege or that command center, I think he can get away with taking a very, very quick third if he wanted to. I'm not sure if he's going to do that, though, because he did throw down a couple of gateways, but that opportunity is definitely there, and I kind of want to see what HiyA is going to go for. If he's going to do a 2-base play, maybe do a 1-0 push or something like that, or if he could also go for a very quick third and take his base at the 6 o'clock. Both of those are very, very cool. I like it when you do a siege expand for Terran. I think it's actually pretty sweet when you do a double expand and take your third pretty quick, just because the normal protoss response is to go and try and take a quick third. So you can either go for maybe like a 4 factory push and try and punish the protoss, or you can go try and take a quick third yourself and continue your defensive play and just get a huge macro going. So either of those options are there, and I really want to see what these two guys do. I don't think either of them, I don't think Free is going to go for a 2-base play. We do see him throwing down a couple pylons at the 12 o'clock, so this is going to be a pretty early, pretty well timed third. He does have observers out, so he's not going to get caught with his pants downs or anything. I think he's going to try and sneak an observer, and we'll see if he can get through. There are turrets pretty well placed by HiyA. HiyA, I think he did this on last time we were on Fighting Spirit as well. He placed his turrets pretty darn well, so that way observers can't sneak in and get the full scout in. Sometimes you'll see players pair 2 observers together and just sort of sack one in order to sneak the second one in. But you can also see a back turret there by the command center, so even if Free was to do that, I think the second observer would actually also go down. So some really nice turret placement by HiyA there. I think I'm actually kind of impressed by how well spaced out those turrets are, stopping that scout on, and that's actually really important because that's going to make Free quite a bit less comfortable than he would otherwise be.
Free at the very least knows that HiyA is not going to go out there to get a third base. Well, he's meanwhile going to be able to safely take his own third. So I'm thinking, wondering whether we might see some 3-base arbiter play. He's adding in some gateways right now, going to go on those 5 gateways. Instead, he might go for something similar to what he did on match point, try to get those 3 bases going. And as he sort of continues pushing to the upper left, tries to pick up a 4th, he might decide to go and get some carriers going. But before he does that, probably going to be seeing him massing a huge ground army, because it just went much better for him when he had a nice presence on the ground.